Okay, so we are live now. People can now see us if they want to. Okay, so we talked this morning, and you told me you had an idea for something.
Uh-huh.
So
My
would you like to talk about your idea a bit?
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
My idea was to set a timer that can wake me up in the morning and tell me what to do at night and at the morning.
Yeah, but what is it different than like a simple alarm clock?
It is different because it tells me to dress up first or brush my teeth first or anything I have to do in the morning before going to school. And at night it tells me to do the things I have to do at night.
Like, what are the things you need to do at night?
Like take a shower or a bath
Mm-hmm.
or put shampoo or just soap.
So you wanted to remind you
Yeah.
whether you need to shampoo or you don't.
Yeah.
All right, and then so let's say that this alarm clock or thing, where should it live? What's this thing you want to do? Is it like a computer, like a small computer that has a screen?
It's a small computer that will have a screen, and then it will show me some pictures of what I had to do
Just
without
pictures, or
yeah, just pictures.
you don't want it to say something, or just a picture?
Yeah.
So a picture of someone like brushing their teeth, and then you know you need to brush your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
What about like writing on the screen, brushing teeth, or take a shower?
Mm, I think that's more being bossy.
Okay, so and then you have this thing, and it says brush your teeth, right?
So,
And how does how do you think the computer should know that you brush your teeth? Because the computer doesn't know, right?
so,
You need to like, how does the computer would know that you brush your teeth?
so first we need to do it on our computer, and then all we have to do is like see if it works, and if it works then we will test it, and when after we test it and we think it works, then we can buy all the things and do it.
Yeah, you mean we need to buy the small computer and put it
Yes.
on your dresser or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you have a screen,
Mhm.
and then the screen says brush your teeth,
Mhm.
right? How will it know to go to the next task that you have to do? You can like do you press the
Yeah, I press some buttons.
you press a button and say
yeah.
did it,
Yeah.
and then it tells you the next thing you got to do.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's design it. Say how does it look, and I mean, where's the button? What does it need to do? How does it look?
I
How
don't
do you
know.
interact with it?
I don't know how it will look. So can I just like imagine it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll imagine it's a square like this, about this big, and it has this button which has a check on it
Okay.
and says did, and there's a button that has an X on it saying not yet.
Not yet.
Mhm.
What does not yet mean? First, let's show it to the camera, so they will see the thing you designed. Okay, so this is the design. All right. You see, someone called Love Feelings is saying hey to us on the chat, so you can say hey back.
Hey.
All right. So this is the design. Right. Let's see if they see it on the camera. So this is the design. You say we have the screen, and then one button says did, and then one button says not yet. But
So it means like not yet means I didn't do it yet. So if I click on it and it almost it almost moves to the next thing, then I say I just press it quick so it knows I didn't do it yet, and like did after I did it, I just click on did, and then it shows me the other
Okay,
thing I have
so
to do.
so you have the task here. Let's say the task. So draw like, I don't know, brush your teeth or something.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I'll
just do
I'll draw
brush.
clothes. I'll draw clothes.
Okay, good. Draw something.
I'll draw some clothes. That's all. And some pants. Lots of pants. And maybe underwear.
Okay, so all right. So you have some clothes, and then you have. So this will tell you, okay, so go get dressed, right?
Yeah.
But you say, okay, so go get dressed, and then you say there are two buttons, and one says did, and one says not yet. All right. So did is clear to me.
Yes.
Did is clear to me. It says I didn't do it yet. Well, I mean, did is sorry. I did it, and then go to the next task. So if it's closed, then the next task would be what? Like go brush your teeth?
Maybe.
No, it doesn't matter. Let's just take an example. So let's say the next one will be brush your teeth.
Like let's say I already pressed did.
Okay.
I'll draw a little hand here.
Okay. So
That's the only hand I know how to
okay. So this is your hand, and it's
Yeah.
pressing the did.
draw. Yeah, it's pressing the did.
Okay.
And then
And then it will be the next task. But
Yes.
what I'm saying is this button.
This button. So if I press this,
If you press not yet, what happens?
so what happens is that it tells you it doesn't tell you something. It just goes back to the thing it was on before it goes to the next thing.
Oh. Okay, got it. So let's say you press did, and then it tells you brush your teeth, but you're not dressed yet.
Yeah.
So if you said not yet, then it will go back to getting dressed.
Yeah.
So why would you press did? If you didn't do it yet, why would you press? Like if you did it by mistake?
If I did by mistake, yeah. Because
So why not call this back?
Yeah.
So we can call this back.
Backslash not yet.
Backslash not yet. Okay.
Back. Slash not yet.
All right, cool. So this is the interface design.
The main.
Okay, and it's pretty simple interface, right? We have a did, and we did a back and not yet, right? So let me ask you something though. Okay, so you have this screen here, and then in English you write from left to right. Is that right? It is, right? So what would you say is natural to you to have back on the left side or on the right side?
Back on the left side.
Back on the left side, right? And then the did will be on the right side.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make more sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's draw the screen again.
This time I'm going to draw a picture of brush.
Okay, cool.
It's going to be right inside. So I already know some clothes.
Okay, so in the meantime, let's do the, you know what? Instead of painting the picture, let's do it here.
I'm brushing my teeth.
Okay, so you're brushing your teeth.
Yep, I'm brushing my teeth.
Okay. So this is the sink, and then this is you. Okay.
And then here is X, and then back.
All right.
and then here is a check ended.
All right. So someone is asking. Love Feelings is asking. You need to answer because this is your design. So can the user add more tasks? Well, that means that, let's say you're the user of this product. So can you add more tasks? So can you say, hey, this is my task, right? So does it always every morning the same tasks, or can you say, no, add a task like today, let's do a puzzle in the morning.
I can add more tasks, yes.
Okay, so you can add more tasks. And can you add more tasks, or can only the parent add more tasks for you?
Sometimes the parents can add more tasks, so they can show me how to add more tasks, and then I can know how to add more tasks, and then I can like the morning, like let's say it's Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in the bed, and then the timer rings.
Yeah.
So then I can ask my dad here to add more tasks, and then I can see how you can add more tasks, and then like at Wednesday morning I can add more tasks, and yeah.
Okay. But I think the question is whether in don't think of it in terms of show me how to do it and then I will know how to do it. The question is whether it's a set of tasks, like every morning it's the same thing, or can the tasks change?
Yeah, they can change.
And they can change by everyone. So the parent can add tasks and you can add tasks, and you can also remove, because if you can add, it makes sense that you can also remove them.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need so the interface is now suddenly not that simple. So what do you need to add to the interface in order to support that? But you know what? Let's take your interface here and let's put it here. All right. So we have a button here that this button will say back or not yet, right? And then we have another button on the right side that says did. Or does it make sense to do did or done?
Done. Maybe
Done. Done makes more sense.
That makes more sense.
Okay, and then we have this picture here of something. So this can be the task, right?
There's no brushing teeth here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just a sample. So let's
Okay.
put it at like 350 over 350. Oh, that won't let us. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. So this is like the picture, and then you want it to also have a text, or you don't need a text. You don't need a text. So just a picture here.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So just a picture here that says something.
Yeah.
And then where would you put the picture to add a task, the button to add a task, and how does that look?
Oh, that button might be in the middle. So if I wanna, so it will just have like a little hand on it, a little finger on it. It'll just have a finger on it, on the button, and then it will say like.
In the meantime, I'm just telling people they can ask questions.
Oh. So there's a little button that has a finger on it,
Okay.
and then says like add tasks.
By the way, you know what I can show them?
Mm-hmm.
I can show them the
This has
the last software we did. You remember the last software we did? What
Nope.
was the last one with the iPhone app? What was it? You remember?
Oh no.
The flashcards.
Oh yeah, the flashcard says.
All right, so
You can show them.
so this is not for people here watching live. This is not Nestle's first or second software design or programming. So you can read up on what we did last time.
Yeah. So last time we did some fun flashcards. So if your son or daughter are learning sight words, they can learn sight words, and I probably finished all the sight words at my first grade. So yeah, so we added some things to it, and we added like words, and every time you click on that word you learn another sight word. So that was the last one we did.
Okay, so you added the add task button here. Okay, so let's show it here. So this is the add task button. But do you think it's like a weird position here, or you think this position is good?
This position, I think we should probably add the add tasks button here.
So you would put it here?
Mm-hmm. And then add tasks.
And another task like so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ah! I deleted the button. Okay. So great. I mean, it looks good to me.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now let's talk about it in
And what?
wait, someone is saying they can't hear sound. This is weird because we can see the sound.
Yeah, we can see the sounds. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, so people saying they have sound, so maybe it's the microphone is here and it definitely can pick up because we can see it on the like screen here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
So he says he can hear now. Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's think of it in terms of programming. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to think about it in terms of programming?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we need to. Is it better if we put the microphone closer?
I think because I always need to get closer to.
Okay, cool. So let's think of it in terms of programming. Okay? So tasks. What is that? Is that a list of tasks that you need to do?
Maybe it's a list of tasks that that says like go to school or something else. Like it's a list of tasks that I can pick from that list of tasks some more tasks to add to the thing.
Okay, so you have a list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's have it here. So we have a list, And the list looks like this, right? So we open up this thing here, and then we have what? We have, what's the first task? Let's give me an example for the first task.
The first task might be go to school.
Is it the first task? You think so? Don't you
Yeah.
need to get dressed first?
Yeah, I need to get dressed first.
Okay.
So, first is dress up.
Dress up. Okay. And then let's say brush your teeth.
Yeah.
All right. And then something else. So let's say breakfast. Right? Where are you? Where are you going? Okay. So now we have these are the tasks that you need to do.
Yeah.
So we can call this to do like so.
So when I click on the button add task.
Yeah, but let's not talk about the buttons right now. Let's talk about the structure.
Okay, so the structure might, so it has the picture of the something I need to do.
Okay, so it's not just a list. It's every task also has the picture.
Yeah.
So it's not a list, it's a more complex structure. All right? So in programming, this is called a map.
A map.
A map. That basically means that we have a list of things, all right? And that list of things, so each of those things is called a key.
Okay.
And then each key has a value. So for example, dress up would be a key, but the value would be a picture.
Yeah.
So this would look like this. Let's just 1 second. So let's grab it here. So then now it looks like this. So you will have something like dress up. All right. And then this will have picture of you dressing up, or a picture of clothes.
Yeah.
All right. So then another one would be to brush your teeth. Right? So let's close this up. What? So then this would be this, and then a picture of a toothbrush, for example. Right? Okay, cool. So Love Feelings is asking whether we do it with Python. So you have no idea, really. And the answer to that is we don't know yet. And right now, at this point where we are in terms of programming, we don't focus on the language. We focus on the data structures and the logic.
Yeah, so we focus on the thing we're doing. So we don't know other things. We don't go to other language. We just stay in English. So everyone.
No, she's not. Not he or she. We don't know. They're not talking about the language that we speak. We're talking about the language that we write on, like the computer language. But what I'm saying is that right now we don't focus about one computer language or another computer language. We talk more about the structure and the conditions rather than how to implement it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now we now understand that our structure needs to be a bit more complex because it has a key, which is what we need to do, but then there is also a value, and that value is the picture.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now we have this list. So
it's called a map.
It's called a map. You're right. It's called a map. So so then let's say you clicked on did. Now let's talk about this structure. what should happen to this structure.
I clicked on did.
Yeah, you clicked on did. You clicked on did, and then what happens?
And then after I click on did or done, it might say,
No, let's not talk about the screen now. Now we're talking about the structure.
yeah, so when I click on did, after I click it, then it shows me the other thing I have to do.
Okay. So now do you think the computer needs to track what you've done and what you didn't do?
I think yes.
So then this is a did, this is a to do, and then we should have a list called done. And should the done also include the picture, or should it not include the picture? I'm talking about now on the computer. Or should it also only have a list of what you've done, and this list would correlate with the keys of the map?
It should have a list, I think.
A list, and it will be the list of keys in the map, do you think? Okay. So then this list would look like, hey, I've done this, and then this is what have I done? I've done dress up. I can't type today, so dress up, right?
Yeah, so when I'm done with the things, I click on done, and then what happens is it moves to the map where I can add more tasks.
Okay.
It moves the task that I did to the other tasks, which is the add tasks.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's the thing
Okay. So then you have the list of things you need to do, right? And then you have the list of things you've already done. And once you've clicked on done, then one of the things you need to do, which is the last thing, would move to the done, and then it will show you the next thing from the map you need of things you need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of a rotation, like the sun, the ocean, and then becomes some clouds, and then it rains. It's like the water cycle.
Okay. So what we mean is that every time that we do something, there is a cycle says, okay, did, right? And then on the last thing, it goes back to the first thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a cycle.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the water cycle. So it goes in cycle and cycles.
All right. This is a nice way to think about it.
Yeah.
So now my question would be, would you do it in two lists, or you would do it in only one list, but then every time you do something, you would delete the first item from the list? Is this what you do? You would mutate the first list, or you would do what I did, which is track what you've done in a separate list, because the first list should never change.
So the first list might change because I'm adding some more tasks to the first list. So
Okay, but you track what you've done in a separate list.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Sounds good. Are you ready? You want to do it?
Yeah. I said yeah.
Okay. Let's go. So you want to do the buttons right now?
Yep.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do it. And can you just come closer to the microphone, because I think people can't hear you? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Okay, first we're going to ignore the design, because we're going to make it pretty later. But what we're going to do is we're going to have everything we need on the page, but it will not look as nice as you want it to look.
Yeah.
Okay?
I know. Because it's from Fry's Electronic.
No, but what I'm saying is you have this, this is the design of it, right? So it can look like, it could be pink or or it could be pink, or it could be or it could be something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What?
No. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. Oh, someone is saying we should use Python again. So we're not sure yet. I will go back to my explanation from before. That right now we're focusing. Oh, someone is saying. Someone is asking you, how old are you?
I'm 7 years old.
7 years old. 7 years old. She's 7. So I'll explain on the Python side again. Right now, intentionally, we're in the process of talking about things and talking about the logic and the structure more than the actual implementation and the actual syntax. Whether it's going to be, are you agreeing?
Yeah, I'm okay.
So whether it's going to be JavaScript or Python, it really has no significance right now. Um, we talk more about what's a list and what's a map. And as you can see in the to do, we at first she said a list, and then I told her, but you also need a picture. So we kind of got to the point where the list of things to do is actually a map. And the key of the map is what she needs to do, and the value of the map is the actual picture. So right now, this is why we're not focusing on the syntax, because this structure is definitely language agnostic. In Ruby, it would be called a hash. In JavaScript, it's an object. And in Go, it's a struct. And in Python, it's a dict. So it doesn't really matter. It's more important to understand what's the logic and how does the list pop and how do we track whether we did something or didn't do something, and so on and so forth. So I guess that is a long question to Python or not Python. Okay, so are you bored now and you're
No, I'm just trying to design my breakfast.
so you're designing your breakfast now? Okay, so while I was talking, Nestle was designing. Let me show you. Nestle was designing her breakfast icon. Do you see her eating breakfast here? This is
I
Nestle.
don't have the table.
Oh, she doesn't have the table. So this is Nestle eating breakfast, and this is how her software looks like. I think the add tasks button is in a weird place, but we're gonna talk about it. Okay. So let's go ahead and start. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Okay. So let's put this here. And do you think? Oh, now the question is, Nestle, I need you to be with me now. The icon is not the important thing right now. Okay. Why are you focusing on? What are you focusing on?
She is 7 and she is smarter than I am.
Are you flattered by it?
I'm interested.
You're interested? What are you interested?
Because how can a 7-year-old girl be smarter than an adult?
Why do you think that's not possible?
I don't know.
Do you think smartness is the amount of knowledge you have or your ability to acquire new knowledge?
I think I don't know what that means.
Okay, so let's talk about being smart for a second. Do you think being smart is the amount of knowledge that you have or your ability to acquire new knowledge, which means am I able to learn new things quicker than other people? does that make me smart, or does just the amount of things I know, does that make me smart?
So just the amount of things I know.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
But then if someone just knows one more thing more, if one thing more than you, is he smarter than you? Just one. So let's say you know 30 things and the other person knows 31. Is he smarter than you? Okay. So what do you think?
I think it's just because I know how to program things.
Okay. But I think your ability to learn new things and be open to new things is way more important than just
Yeah.
the amount of the things you know.
Yeah, I was about to say
Because
that.
life is it's a journey. You need to think about what else do you need to learn, not only on what you know right now. I mean,
So I was
just
going to
5 minutes
say
ago, you didn't know about this map thing.
Mhm.
Now you do. You know?
Yeah, so it's about learning new things, I think.
Okay. So now let's go to our page.
What page?
So we're gonna start designing the page here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So what I want to. Now I'll tell you what I'm thinking about. Okay. What I'm thinking about is how visual do we want this thing to be? Because programming is not a visual task. It's very text heavy, but we want the buttons to be there,
Yeah.
right?
So now I'm just designing the buttons and the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So not anymore in a little picture. It's not going to be in a square. Now it's going to be like this.
Okay. So what does it look like?
I'll show everyone when I'm finished. Just talk.
Okay. No, but what I'm asking, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm designing another thing that is bigger, so they can know how I really want it to be.
Okay. Oh, you mean how the actual design looks like?
Yeah. So I'll show them what this means.
Okay.
What this means. What tasks mean. And what /not yet means.
Okay. So just gonna show you what Nestle is doing here. Oh, actually, this is not the camera that we're using. So here it is. Okay, go. I'm waiting.
So /not yet is a little thingy that has the screen on it, which let's pretend this is a picture.
Okay.
And then I click on /not yet,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go back. Or if they're about to switch to the other thing, I click on that, and then they go back
Okay.
to the thing I was going to do. And add tasks. So let's move on to done.
Okay.
So done, it has a little picture on it too. And when I click on done, it moves to the add tasks. So let's say this was dress up, it moves here.
Okay. So you're doing the little flow.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's show the
So-
flow. Just 1 second. Let's show it.
Wait, I need to do
Okay, cool.
arrows. And then back to this.
All right. So here is the flow. And as you can see here, um, I am letting her dictate the pace. I'm not forcing anything in terms of let's move on to coding and let's move on to this and let's move on to that. Like I'm letting her understand the process, and however she wants to focus on designing and being slower or faster. This is how we go. All right. So this is a flow chart, and she designed it alone, as you can see. Oh, so someone is asking. Userman2 is asking question. She asked to learn coding, or was it your idea? And he's asking me, so was it my idea or was it your idea?
It was my idea, of course.
Why of course? Okay, so
Of course, you you said in the beginning that it was my idea.
yeah, but what's important to understand here that not everybody was here from the beginning.
Oh.
So some people can join now, so they don't know what we said before. So you shouldn't assume that because someone is asking a question, he was here at the beginning. Okay.
I didn't know that.
So imagine it's like you're in a room and then suddenly someone walks in the room. They don't know what you've done, what you talk to, and who you talk to.
Okay.
Okay. So just answer the question.
So, the question that you asked was very simple to answer. It was my idea.
Okay. So yeah, it was totally her idea, and it really comes from creative outlet. It really comes from just creating things. We started off with. Actually, do you want to grab one of those from the bag there? There are the things we soldered together. There's one of the things there. Do you see it? You don't see it? The thing with the leads. Yeah, this one. So we started off building kind of those things. And just one second. And yeah, someone is asking, what are we making?
So what we're
So
making.
I will answer. She will answer, what are we making, and then we will continue on the question of whether it was her idea or not.
Okay. So what we're making is a timer that wakes me up in the morning and tells me what I have to do in the morning before I go to school. And at night, it tells me what I have to do at night before I go to sleep. So like, let's give an example. I have to take a bath or a shower. Or like put pajamas on, or not put pajamas on, then I can
Why would you
sleep
not
with
put
clothes.
pajamas?
They can sleep with clothes.
Okay.
Really, I can.
Okay.
So, yeah, it can tell me what I do before I go to sleep and what I do before I go to school.
Okay. So again, going back. So going back to the previous question, and so we started off with like doing things like that. So we went to Fry's and looked for like interesting things like that. So we made a heart of LEDs. There's no programming in it. It's just a circuit. You don't hear anything on those headphones. So then we did a few of those, and then Nestle burnt her finger on the soldering iron, and she decided that a computer is safer. So we started programming, and I see a little bit of me in her, and I started programming someone is like, asking again on the other chat room, how old are you? But just give me a second to finish, okay? Um, so it's a creative outlet. It's literally like we woke up this morning, and we talking about building a robot for a while, and then I explained to her that a robot is much more complex because she wanted us to say things, and then the robot will hear us and then do the things we wanted to do. So I explained that this is a very complex task, and um, so we just take it step by step, and we went to Fry's and we looked at um, Raspberry Pis and Arduinos, and we kind of looked at how we're going to structure this little computer. So she picked up the Raspberry Pi and she picked up the touch screen, and we kind of talked about how we're going to structure it. And then we said, before we go and before we buy that, we just spend money, then let's talk about how we're going to do it and what's the process. Um, and then she started designing it. Um,
So yeah, um,
so
the
someone is asking first, how old are you? And then there's another question. So will you be teaching her code, so she becomes a developer? So your answer. Yeah.
okay. So I am 7 years old, and so he is not teaching me how to code because we did this a lot of times. Like it's not our first one. Like not my second one and not my third one.
Okay. So we can give a link to the first one. Uh, okay. So we're gonna go back to the flow chart that you just drew. So do you want to explain this flow chart?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So this flow chart is I wanted to explain what it
I'll
was
hold it for you. Don't worry. You can focus on that.
what it was really about. So I drew back not yet, so I was pretending this was a picture. This thing here. And then I drew an arrow that goes to done, and then when I'm done, it goes into the here. So let's pretend this was dress up. And then I didn't dress up yet, so I click on this, and then it goes back to dress up. And then I click on done, and then it moves to add tasks. And then the other thing moves here to the structure, to the screen. And then I can click on not yet if I didn't finish, and then if I click on done and I'm finished already, then it just moves to add tasks.
All right. So where are we gonna start?
I think we're gonna start.
Okay. You ready? Okay. Let's do it.
What are we doing?
We're gonna start. Okay. So let's start here. And we said we have two kind of structures that we want. One is called. You want to say what it's called? The one with the keys and the values.
The one with the keys and the values is called the map.
Okay.
Which I can like add more tasks to the morning things, so I can add more tasks, and then I have more things to do. But I might not, and then it'll get shorter, not longer.
Okay. And then the other one is just a list of things to track what you've done, what you haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start that. Okay?
Mhm.
So let's do it here. And then let's open up a page here. Okay?
Mhm.
All right. Okay, so let's copy this over, and then let's put it here, and then we're gonna have this one here. So this is just a simple page, and then let's call this. Okay, you can go and then come back in. Okay, so Nestle has to go. Close the door, please. So I'm gonna wait for her. So are you keeping me entertained while she's not here? So how long have I been coding? I've been coding since I was in the fifth or sixth grade, I guess. So guess around 10 years old. So that's 20 something years. 20. I'm 35 now, so 20 something years in total. So I'm just waiting for Nestle to come back. Okay. Cool. So now we have this thing here. This is just a basic structure. It's really not important for you to understand right now. Okay, and then we're gonna have this.
I know what it is. I kind of understand it.
Yeah, it's a structure, right? Okay, so which language do you use the most? I really don't know. I always say, and I don't want to bore Nestle, but I always say um, I'm the cliche of a full stack engineer, and I do front end to DevOps. So
The language that we most use is English.
so you can check my GitHub. You can check my GitHub. So check it out if you want. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, a very, very long time. Okay.
With me.
So we're gonna have a button here, right? And this is the button for the back and not yet. Okay.
So it makes more sense that the back and not yet goes in the back and then down goes in the front and the add tasks goes in the real front because after this and after this goes this. So yeah.
Okay, so we have the back and not yet, and then we have the done.
The done. And then at the middle we have the add tasks.
So the add task, is it the current task that you need to do?
No. The add tasks is something that it is called a map that it has like the word and it has the pictures. And
Oh, but we're gonna do it as static right now. Right now, we're not
Yeah.
gonna add this feature for add
Yeah,
tasks.
I know. So, what add tasks means is that um, I so it has more tasks in it that I can add to the night, or it has more tasks that I can add to the day, like in the morning.
Okay. So, and then we have the current task, which is going to be, I don't know. So let's say span here. And then here we're gonna have or actually
What does this mean really that long?
really that long. He's been someone was asking me how long have I been coding. All right, so let's go here.
I think about 6 years, maybe.
You think 6 years?
I
If I only been coding since you were born, a year before you were born or after you were born.
I was coding after I was born.
So, but was I working in computers before you were born or only after you were born?
Before I was born.
Before you were born. So it's not 6 years, right?
Maybe 30.
30? Do you think 30? Do you think I've been coding since I was 5 years old?
I don't know. So how many years have you been coding? How many years have you been coding?
So, a lot, long years.
Oh.
So someone is asking, are you serious, dude? Learning your own daughter to code on a Mac and using JavaScript.
Yep, he's
Are
serious.
you serious? So yes, I am serious. Okay, and again, we're right now we're focusing more on the structure rather than like whether it's JavaScript or not. Okay, so this is our amazing page.
I need to go get a hair dye.
No, not now.
Okay.
Okay, so there it is. Okay,
Mhm.
so we have this back and not yet, and then we have the done, and then we have the brush teeth. Right?
Mhm.
Yes?
Mhm.
Okay, so now here, let's do this, and let's say, so we have the map,
Structure?
right? So we have the structure. So
I need to go get Libby.
no, don't worry about it. Okay. So then we have the brush teeth, right?
Mhm.
And then this will have the picture of the brush your teeth, right? And then no, don't worry about it. She really should not do what she wanted to do. Okay, so brush teeth, and then what else do we have?
So we can. So what else is the clothes and
Getting
the
dressed?
breakfast. Yeah, getting
Okay.
dressed and the breakfast.
Okay.
I really need to get a hair dye.
Okay, go. Yeah, Nestle, just make sure you close the door when you come back. Okay, so Libby won't come in here. Okay, she went to get a hair tie. We're gonna wait for her. In the meantime, if any of you has any more questions, you know, as you can see, she loves to answer those. So feel free to ask. And if you have questions for me, then also do feel free to ask. Okay, so this is gonna be the getting dressed, right? All right, cool.
Came back with
You came back with,
a hair tie.
that's cool. Okay, so now we have this one for to do, and then we have the one for done, which is going to be empty for now, right? And this is not ES6. So Libby is just woke up, so she is feisty.
Libby is the baby.
Okay, so then we have the brush teeth and getting dressed. Okay, so now let's talk about when you hit the button to that is done. No, let's leave the design here. Let's talk about the structure.
Okay.
What needs to happen in the done or in the to do in terms of the structure? What needs to happen?
So you mean only the done?
Yeah, only the done.
So when I click the done,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
let's say this is my finger. When I click it,
Yeah.
there it goes to the add tasks, and then it moves to another picture.
So it moved to another picture.
Yeah, and then the other picture shows me maybe to brush my teeth after I get dressed up, or maybe brush my hair.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so now let's say this is our to do, and then we should have maybe an order. So do you want to have an order of the things you need to do?
Yeah. So the order might be dress up.
Okay, the order is dress up. Okay. What next? The next is brush teeth.
Brush teeth.
Okay.
And the next one is breakfast. Next one is breakfast, okay?
Okay. The next one is breakfast.
How do you spell?
BRE.
BRE.
Yeah. A. What? What? Yeah.
F.
Mm-hmm.
A.
Mm-hmm.
S. T.
All right. Cool. But before we move on to the breakfast, let's have a function here, right? And the function, let's call it a next. Okay?
Dot, next.
Yes. And then what this should do is it should go to the order, right?
Yeah, so look, there's this
Yeah.
add tasks here.
Yeah.
And then it goes here
Yeah.
to the front. And when I move on, when it gets to the bottom
Okay.
here, let's say this is the word I use for dress up. So let's say it's dress up. So this arrow goes here. And then there's the list here, which is the word that we were on was dress up, and that's the biggest word here.
Okay.
So these are small.
Okay, so I have a better idea. Okay? And let me well, you know what? Let's not decide if it's better. You decide if it's better. But I have an idea. Let me talk about it. Okay? So instead of having this, which is what you said, that we'll have a done and we'll have a to do, which is going to be a map, and then we'll have an order, which is going to be the order, right? What I'm saying is we're going to kind of flip it on its head. Okay? And tell me what you think. So we're going to have this here. So let's remove this. And then we will have a map called task images. No. Just look here. Here. Just here. And then we will have the task name, which is brush teeth, for example. All right. And then we will have this image of the brush your teeth. And then we will have the get dressed. And then we will have, let's say,
Breakfast.
yeah, breakfast. And then we'll also have a library book on Wednesday.
Oh, on Wednesday.
All right, and then we have, what else? Kramer?
So he's saying library book because on Wednesday I have to go to the library.
And then Kramer for, like, you should put some food for her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I go to school. So, task.
And then this is just a structure, is a map to just save the images for our tasks. Okay? And then we have a to-do here, which is exactly the same thing in terms of the names of the tasks, but it's just a list. So here we'll have this one, okay? Are you ready? You don't need to draw it. It's here. Okay.
You can go on.
Okay. So then we have the kind of the tracking of the to-do. And then in order to track what we've done and what we haven't done, we have an index, which is basically where you are in that list. So when we have next, we're going to increment that index. We're going to say, okay, so now give me the next one. And we're going to say back. Then we're going to go back in the index. And we're always going to go back to the task images in order to display the image. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay. So let's grab that. And then we will put this here. Okay, and then this is window.taskImages, just as an example. Okay.
I know how to spell the word index.
I know. And then we have this. All right, so this is this one, and this, and this, and this. And then we have the index. Okay?
Mhm.
So now every time you push the button for done, we're gonna do the next.
So, so let's put this back.
No, you're not listening now.
I am.
No, you're drawing.
I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna wait.
I said I'm not.
Well, you're writing.
I'm still listening.
Yeah, but I want you to look.
I'm looking.
Okay, so I think people can't hear you, so you need to come closer. Okay, so then as you can see here, we have the index that we said, and then when you click next, we need to say that the index is equals to the index, but we add 1 because we are incrementing it by 1, and we are on the next task. All right? And then the next item would be the to do with this index. Okay? And then let's just alert this. Okay? So let's put this here, like so.
So this is my thing that I drew. That's what I did. So all I did was if I press this, it goes back
Cool.
to the index, and then so let's pretend I was on dressing up,
Mm-hmm.
and I click on not yet, and when I click on not yet,
So this is, but I want you to kind of see that because I think it's important. Don't be embarrassed. Everybody makes mistakes. So I just want you to see that what I've written here,
I wrote
because you kind of saw me write it, but what I want you to understand is that I didn't write it. I didn't even write one character without Nestle writing it first. So I want to show you that. All right. So this is her idea of the index and the incrementing of the index. All right. And the flow of what happens when you're done. You see to do, and then the index, and then the tasks, and then back. And as you can see, when you hit back, then it goes back. And then when you hit to do, then it goes the index. So all I've done really is to just translate, quote unquote, to syntax what she understood, but just doesn't know the syntax of. And this is why Frank 34344, it doesn't really matter if we're on a Mac or JavaScript or whatever. The idea here is beyond the Mac, Vim, JavaScript, and so on and so forth. So I want to show you what we have. So brush teeth. Okay, so I want you to click the done. The mouse is on this screen. Let me show you. Just 1 second.
okay, thanks. Got it.
Okay, so done. Click it. So get dressed. Do okay. So you said, okay,
Okay,
got dressed. Now do done again.
done.
Breakfast. Okay.
Alright. Done. Library book. Okay. Done.
Kramer.
Timer.
Okay. So now hit done again. Oh, undefined. What does that mean?
I don't have to do anything.
All right, but you think we should, so this is not implemented yet. Okay, so for today, we have been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow, that's a lot.
So for today, I think this is enough for today. So we are gonna close it out for the day and catch you next time. Thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you. After we build the machine, we might show you.
All right. Bye. See ya.